What's up, guys? The next fight we're breaking down is Tony Ferguson against Anthony Pettis. We talked about this probably a month or two ago. We were super excited. We talked about it when the fight first broke. First of all, I'm happy no one's hurt. No one's tripped over any cords yet. No one's wearing sunglasses inside.
No, that's not true.
Anthony Pettis isn't snowed out in Wisconsin yet, so far that we know. Anyways, this fight has fireworks all over it. You know, not only do you have Tony Ferguson got stripped of the belt after he got hurt, so he's trying to get that back. You have Anthony Pettis, who went on a losing streak or, lost a handful of fights, which is not Pettis-like, and he's working his way back up.
He's looking pretty good lately.
He's looking very good. He's kind of found himself. He's kind of a new guy. You know, he came on the scene pre-USADA.
Well, I think he has no pressure now. You know what I mean?
I agree. And they do say that a lot of fighters, when you get that pressure, you got the weight of the world, you got your coaches, you got your fans, you got the UFC trying to hype you.
You're on Wheaties boxes, you know what I mean? Everyone thinks you're unbeatable.
Absolutely. So Anthony Pettis is still a super, super tough guy. You know, supposedly, whenever Tony Ferguson got hurt, what was it, his knee or whatever, some muscle completely detached from the bone. I don't know how the surgery went.
It's an injury that you're supposed to be out for like a year, and he recovered in like 3 months or something.
And if you don't, kind of like we were talking about Black Beast's Instagram, if you don't watch Tony Ferguson's Instagram, go check it out. He's always doing like
weird
crazy training, and
he has like the things you box jump on, flipped upside down. He's doing like balancing acts on it. He has like the retention bands like strapped around his neck and jerking off and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Well, Eddie Bravo is his jiu-jitsu coach, and Eddie Bravo says every fight camp, Tony Ferguson builds his own equipment.
Yeah.
So Tony
Ferguson, he's a weird dude, but you kind of need that weird quirk, I feel like, to be great. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so let's get into the fight. Steven, what you got?
I feel like this one's a no-brainer, and I feel like that's a little insulting towards Anthony Pettis. Even though Tony Ferguson's coming off of an injury, I got to go with Tony Ferguson. But then again, Tony Ferguson, stand-up, he takes a lot to give punches, and Anthony Pettis is a sharp puncher, but I've seen Tony Ferguson get hit by the hardest hitters and keep coming forward. And
so you don't think Anthony Pettis can knock him out?
I do. I definitely think he can knock him out, but I mean, my gut instinct is thinking that Tony Ferguson's going to pull this one out. Even though Tyron Woodley went on record saying Anthony Pettis is going to run through him and it's going to be a no-brainer. But he trains at Duke Rufus now also, so how biased is that?
So how do you see it? You think Tony Ferguson's going to use that snap jiu-jitsu, or do you think he's going to pound him out?
I think it could go either way. I think it could go to the... You know what? I think if Tony Ferguson's smart, he'll try to take it to the ground, even though Anthony Pettis has underrated jiu-jitsu.
Which he's a black belt, by the way. How can you be an underrated black belt?
Yeah, well, people do underrate his jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know? I agree.
But
he just won via triangle choke, though.
Yeah, but like you said, I think Tony Ferguson's jiu-jitsu is just on a different level. You know what I mean? He's a black belt under Eddie Bravo at 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, and I think they have some of the most elite jiu-jitsu, especially
no gi
tailored for MMA.
No gi, yeah. And that's how 10th Planet caught fire, was because, MMA fighters and people who don't like the gi, they realize it's more practical in that setting.
Well, they caught fire because Eddie Bravo was the first American to ever beat a Gracie in a jiu-jitsu competition, and he only beat him once, and the second time they rolled, I forget the
No,
Gracie.
It went to a draw.
But if you watched it, he was dominating him the whole time.
I thought it was a very good match. I actually just watched it the other day because it's one of those that, like, the smallest move can be your fate. But anyways, that's for another video.
Yeah.
So he's got Tony Ferguson. You got to go on record of how he's going to win.
I'm going to say ground and pound or a submission. I can't go on record. I don't know.
Okay, so you just think Tony Ferguson's going to win? I
think it's going to be ground and pound. Or it's gonna end on the ground, in my opinion.
Okay, so I'm going the same as you. I'm going Tony Ferguson. I think he's longer. I think he's got that chip on his shoulder too, coming back from an injury, trying to get that belt back.
He just got stripped.
He just got stripped. I think Tony Ferguson's got a screw loose, like you said, but most great fighters do. There's something in him that makes him tick. I think Anthony Pettis, although he is a legend in the sport, he does amazing things. I just think Tony Ferguson's on the up and up. You know, I think Anthony Pettis is kind of stagnant, even though he's won a few. I think Ferguson's ascending.
It's easy to win a few when you are a great fighter, but
yes, when you're getting top level fighters day in, day out, you know, I think Tony Ferguson's going to win via decision. I think both guys' jiu-jitsu's unreal, very good. Like Steven said, both of them have great jiu-jitsu. So I don't think that neither one of them are really going to try to take it to the ground, because it's kind of like, I think Tony Ferguson would be more comfortable on the ground, but I don't think that Tony Ferguson never really like tries to take it there. You know, what kind of happens. So I think Tony Ferguson's going to win via decision, but I think he's going to pick him apart. He's longer. He's got that weird, awkward style. He doesn't really, I don't know.
He throws a lot of weird
angles.
Like unconventional.
Very unconventional.
Weird elbows, weird spinning stuff, kicks from weird angles. He's just
Absolutely.
It's hard to prepare for Tony Ferguson because he's kind of wild.
Yep, and he's got that size and he's got that chin. I mean, he gets hurt in almost every fight and finds a way to overcome it. Not saying Anthony Pettis can't win this fight. He's totally capable of doing it, but I'm going Tony Ferguson decision.
Cool, yeah.
So let us know what you guys think. Drop it down below. Give us that subscribe, and we will see you on UFC 229 Fight Night.
Cool. Peace, guys.